But when you think about Kim, I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown.
Yet, when you contemplate Kim, I was contemplating internally a day or two ago. Uptown Records began with five individuals: Andre Harrell, Albie Shore, Wadey D, and Puffy, and Kim was the longest working worker cause she was there. All along, she was Andre's own colleague. Kim is dead. Hidu is dead and Reed Harrell is dead. The main two remaining are Puffy and Al. Nearly kicked the bucket. It's an obvious fact that Diddy has been sued for article by four ladies, including his long-term significant other R&B Callis Cassie, who blamed him for a few quite hard-hitting charges going from actual maltreatment to considerably more. However, that case settled the day after it was recorded. Combs was consequently sued by three additional ladies, all Jane Doe, who say the hip bounce big shot exposition them since. These claims advance toward the media. It has been circumnavigating all around the web, and consistently, it appears to just get really fascinating, and is surprising that Diddy has remained pretty calm through. Of everything besides, actually, we should get into it since there's a lot to unload here. As of late, Diddy's previous guardian focused on the dim mysteries behind the music magnate's connections. There is zero extra time. Ask Puma Wright has offered a few fascinating data lock-in as we uncover frightening insights concerning how Diddy purportedly coordinated upsetting circumstances, including Kim Watchman and Cassie. The untold stories are set to uncover parts of the hip bounce figure that have stayed being concealed for a really long time since Cassie's disclosures about Diddy. More data has begun to arise. Jean Bargan, previously a piece of Diddy's security group, is currently sharing what he is familiar with, occasions that were recently kept from people in general. Before we get into everything we require one moment to recognize one of Diddy's most memorable posts back on Instagram. As he makes the return since the new charges introduced against him, Diddy Combs has gotten back to Instagram. Right after his new article claims, "We miss you so much, Kim. Blissful birthday, wonderful love, everlastingly, Diddy 54." Subtitled a photograph of himself and late ex Kim Watchman on Friday, December 15th, what might have been her 53rd birthday. In the snap, Diddy was hanging over and kissing a grinning Watchman who passed on from pneumonia in November 2018. On the cheek, Diddy and Watchman had an on and off relationship, which endured from 1994 to 2007. They shared three children together: child Lord, 25, and twins Delilah Starr and Jesse James, 16. The rapper additionally embraced Watchman's child Quincy Brown, 32, from an earlier relationship. Some don't know what to think, since Diddy was blamed for a few sickening things, and they found it more odd that this was his first post back. Did he simply overlook it all? At first, Diddy denied the charges, yet he immediately settled, supposedly paying Jean more than she had at first requested. This move by Diddy and his legitimate group appeared to be an endeavor to determine the issue unobtrusively with a monetary repayment anyway. Cassie's claim has exposed a scope of new worries. There is additionally hypothesis about Diddy's conceivable contribution in Kim Watchman's passing, with some drawing associations between his alleged abuse of the two ladies. Following Kim's demise, her previous beautician implied that Kim had been dealing with a book planned to uncover the challenges she confronted with Diddy. This included charges of mystery exercises, abuse, and constraining her into awkward circumstances. Now that sounds like a ton, with no evidence except for Jean Bargan in a new meeting. Proceeded to say, "That is the night I was called by Paul to meet him over at Stu Luke's emergency clinic. He had a white shirt folded over his wrist on the grounds that Kim had taken the court. You know, when you open up the wine tool, she took the course to a court on his wrist, protecting himself, and he had torn some tendon, yet he nearly hit a vein or came near the corridor, or either scratched it or cut it a tad, since he recently continued to drain just before Kim Dorman could deliver her detailed storybook. A stunning development unfurled. Diddy supposedly sent his legitimate group to put an end to the book's distribution. A spill discussion from somebody at the distributing organization working with Kim uncovered that Diddy's legal advisors had served them with court papers training them to stop the book's delivery and requesting the quiescence of all material. Kim had imparted to them the message unveiled: simply needed to tell you that Sean has placed the cinches on Kim Watchman's book from making it to the racks anyway, even with Diddy and his group attempting to obstruct reality. One more spilled email from an alternate Distributor Surfaced Web based this email shed light on the upsetting subtleties of how Diddy supposedly abused and basically controlled Kim, causing her to do anything he desired in spite of the lawful tent. Ion, it seems like the fact of the not entirely settled to get its out yet stand by. You would rather not understand what the email said it went like. I was crushed to peruse the things that Kim set up with and saw during her relationship with Diddy, additionally a portion of the things in the book. Cover Diddy's gay connections film of those experiences, the men he laid down with sexually transmitted diseases, Diddy giving attendant and sexually transmitted disease, and the unstable experience among Daddy and Usher's mother, Mary J. Blige, being pregnant by Diddy. The story took a sensational turn as Jean Bargan, Diddy's previous protector, uncovered a few frightening occurrences. Bargan shared an especially disturbing occasion where Kim Watchman purportedly made a radical move against Diddy, cutting his wrist in light of his supposed unwanted advances. The adventure went on with reports of a brutal experience among Diddy and Kim. A source uncovered that Diddy had purportedly broken Kim's nose during a contention ignited by him finding her in a compromising situation with Shakira Stewart. The showdown raged north of a few hours, finishing in a boisterous contention by 2 a.m. and afterwards shouting at 7 a.m. Following this occurrence, Diddy was said to have flown in an expert plastic specialist from Geneva. Kim later guaranteed her facial injury was a mishap, saying she hit her nose on a table. These episodes offered a simple look into the expected disclosures of Kim's arranged detailed account book. Among the bits of gossip was a supposed yacht occurrence, where Diddy probably broke Kim's nose, a story murmured inside their circle, yet never formally affirmed. Jean likewise shed light on Diddy's way of life. Especially his contribution in The Thing was portrayed as swinging experiences. As per Jean, these exercises frequently included Diddy, another male, and two ladies. Enumerating the exceptional elements of these circumstances, Jean's experiences stretched out to Diddy's connections, incorporating with his then sweetheart Kim, featuring an example of conduct that purportedly gone on over the long run and involved recording these experiences. Jean Bargan, who was not straightforwardly involved yet at the same time keenly conscious, talked about the obvious idea of the collaborations inside Diddy's group of friends. He especially featured an episode including Sarah, her better half, and Jay, which proposed a more unequivocal nature to these get-togethers. This perspective possibly became public when Jai uncovered the express exercises that occurred given his previous cozy relationship with Diddy. Gan Bargan found believability in Cass's charges about the purported freaky meetings he felt for the injuries he encountered in the music business, comparing her encounters to those of other who, as they continued looking for progress, wound up in compromising circumstances. Jean contended that if Cassie's record were misleading, Diddy could have emphatically denied the cases. Jean additionally remarked on the drawn-out effect of these occasions on Cassie, particularly considering the future when her kids could go over these accounts online. In response to Cass's claim, G offered a frank view, immovably excusing the possibility of Diddy being a mentor to Cassie. He rather depicted Diddy as a custodian and a fiend, asserting that he took advantage of Cassie's desires and gifts for his own advantage. This nitty-gritty point of view from John Bargan, an eyewitness with close binds, adds intricacy to the continuous adventure, offering a more profound understanding into the elements of Diddy's own and proficient life. The story, as described by Jean, appears to draw matches between the encounters of Cassie and Kim. N joins a rundown of insiders, including Diddy's previous collaborator Capricorn Clark and ex-safety officer Roger Securities, who have approached to uncover and affirm the supposed abuse of Kim. These insiders have worked up the web with new data about the troubles Kim looked while with Diddy. The story keeps on growing, all the more light is shed on a fierce period in their lives. Further subtleties were given on Diddy's supposed techniques for controlling and taking advantage of ladies as relaxed. Ted by Jean, these insiders have worked up the web with new data about the hardships Kim looked while with Diddy. As the story keeps on growing, all the more light is shed on a violent period in their lives. Further subtleties were given on Diddy's supposed techniques for controlling and taking advantage of ladies, as described by Jean. As per Gan, Diddy utilizes a determined strategy in choosing people for his forceful way of behaving, frequently picking those he sees as powerless or those he is Supported against his methodology is Key being aware of the limits of his own contribution. Jean recommends that Diddy frequently establishes a controlled climate, conceivably including his escort or bouncers, to oversee circumstances. By implication, this strategy, Gain estimates, permits Diddy to apply impact and keep a specific picture while staying away from direct actual contribution. And there you have it, a report on Diddy and what is happening since the new charges hit the media. Do you feel that Diddy is blameworthy? What will befall his standing if charges, for example, these keep on advancing toward the web? Let us in on your thought process in the remarks down underneath.